Section C of the CDL exam. First, which is all the trailer. We're going to start with the front of the trailer. The front of the trailer is called the header board. It's made up of panels. 1, 2 panels. Okay, this particular trailer. It's got all these all the panels should not have any holes or rips or tears. No leaks. The rivets should all be in place, mounted and secure, no missing. Then you got the 2 clearance lights on the top, amber in color, not cracked, no moisture, mounted secure. Those identify the height of the trailer of 13.6. Then we step over to the side of the trailer. The first thing we want to mention is that there's no doors or lifts to inspect on this side of the trailer. You want to make sure that all the panels are in good condition, no holes or rips or tears, no damage, all rivets, nuts and bolts mounted and secured. DOT reflective tape all the way across the bottom of the trailer. In good condition, not faded or missing or ripped or torn. The rail should be in good condition, not rotted, cracked or damaged, no missing. The cross members should all be all the way down the trailer. There's 4 bolts on each side holding the cross members in, no more than 1 missing for every set of 4. Then we have the landing gear. The landing gear should be mounted and secured to the cross members, no missing nuts or bolts or cracked welds to the cross members. The frame for the landing gear should not be bent, cracked, damaged, or missing. The stand shoes should be mounted and secured, not bent, cracked, or damaged. They should go up and down equally on each side. The gearbox mounted and secured, properly greased, 2 gears, high and low. Crank handle hung properly, not bent or damaged. Also, it should work properly. Then we got the turn signal on the side of the trailer, amber in color, not cracked, no moisture, mounted and secure. 3 functions: turn signal, 4-way in position. The airline should be about 18 to 20 inches from the ground. Okay, now on this suspension, we have a leaf spring suspension. So you want to mention that it's not an air ride suspension, so it doesn't have the hydraulic shock absorbers, and it doesn't have bellows in the back. Instead, we have adjustable torque rod, tension bar, we got a stabilizer bar, and we got the leaf springs. Okay, so since we got a leaf spring system, we have the U-bolts that sit on the saddle and that are mounted to the anchor plate on the bottom. That's the leaf spring system. And when you tell them it doesn't have bellows, it also doesn't have the upper bellow bracket and lower bellow support. Now the slider frame, the tandem release lever is right here. It should be locked in place with the pins locked in place in the slider frame. Slider frame should have no cracked welds to the cross members, no missing nuts or bolts. And it should be sliding properly. That's that. Now the tires should also have, just like the back of the tractor, same thing, 3 to 5 inches between the tires and rims. These are our radial tires. These have to be same size, same type on every axle. These could be regrooved or recapped. 2 seconds in each major groove. No tread separation, fabrics, cuts, or bulges, or no separation between the tire and the rim. The rim cannot be bent, cracked, damaged, or welded. These are butt disc rims. You got your valve stems that should be mounted and secured on each rim with the cap on tight with 100 PSI. All 10 studs and lug nuts should be present and tight with no rust stains coming from underneath them that would indicate a loose lug nut. The hubs have a cap. They're on this trailer. Some trailers, they're sealed. So since it's got a cap on it, it should have 80W90 oil. You stick your finger in there, there should be an inch of oil. It should not be leaking. If there's a leak on the inside of the axle, on the brake drum or the brake shoe linings, then you have a bad inner axle seal. Speaking of the brakes, I forgot to mention that. The brakes and the back of the trailer are the same as the back of the tractor also. The tires and rims and brake systems are the same as the rear of the tractor and the trailer. So the brake chambers, you got emergency and service, not dry rotted, cracked, or leaking, or rubbing, mounted to the brake chamber. The brake chamber is going to have 2 clamps. They should both be on tight with no leaks, no rust causing holes and leaks in the brake chamber. Brake chamber should be mounted and secured. There's 2 clamps around the brake chamber that should be on tight with no leaks. The push rod coming out of the brake chamber should be mounted and secured. Not cracked. The push rod should not be cracked or damaged, and mounted to the slack adjuster with the clevis pin. The slack adjuster should be mounted and secured, properly greased, no more than 1 inch of play. Then the brake drum should not be cracked or have oil or grease. The brake shoe linings should not be cracked or have any oil or grease, and they should have no less than 1/4 inch of lining. So we got the suspension, the tires, and the rims, and the brake system, and the slider frame. Next we have the splash guard. Splash guard should be no more than 4 inches from the ground, not ripped or torn, DOT tape across, in good condition, mounted and secured to the bracket mounted and secured to the frame, no missing nuts or bolts. Now on the back of the trailer, you got 3 ID lights, red in color, not cracked, no moisture, mounted and secure. They identify the width of the trailer, which is 8 feet wide. The rubber seal around the door should be mounted and not dry rotted, cracked, or causing any leaks. This is an overhead door, it goes up and down. The hinges should all be mounted and secured, no missing nuts or bolts. Locking mechanism should lock and unlock with no problems. DOT reflective tape all the way across, not faded or missing, good condition. The 4 tail lights got 4 functions: 4-way, turn signal, brake, and position, red in color, not cracked, no moisture, mounted and secure. License plate up to date, clean, mounted and secured, light working properly, and the DOT bumper mounted and secured, no cracked welds, no missing nuts or bolts. Yeah, the DOT bumper 18 to 20 inches from the ground. Then the DOT reflective tape all the way across, not faded, not falling off or missing, in good condition all the way across. Clean, visible. And the airplane went by, so I'm not sure if you heard me, but the tail lights, once again, 4-way, turn signal, brake, and position, red in color, not cracked, no moisture, mounted and secured.